When movies and TV shows rely on a blatant coincidence to drive the story forward, you can't help but groan. But sometimes, real life lines up in a way that feels like a setup by a bad writer. The only difference is, when coincidences like this happen in the real world, the results are nothing short of creepy. Poe's prediction. Edgar Allan Poe wrote a ton of short stories, but his only completed full-length novel is the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket. It's about a ship where everyone mutinies before a storm leaves some of the mutineers adrift at sea. In the end, they eat a guy named Richard Parker.
I'd rather eat Hodges.
Oh, well, all right.
No, I still prefer to eat Johnson, and we should all stop bickering and eat me.
Poe's novel was published in 1838, and in 1884, 46 years later, a real ship called the Mignonette went through nearly the same thing, minus the mutiny. The yacht was hit by storms off the coast of Africa, leaving 4 men adrift in a dinghy with no food or water. Eventually, 3 of them killed and ate the 4th guy. That's just a tragic coincidence, but the creepiest detail of all was their victim's name, Richard Parker, just like in Poe's story. White Star survivor. In the early 20th century, the White Star Line was one of the premier shipbuilders, and 3 of their biggest and best were the Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic, all of which met disaster. And one woman named Violet Jessop was on board all 3 of them. In 1911, Jessop was working as a nurse on the Olympic when it collided with the HMS Hawke. The Olympic didn't sink, so Jessop took a new job on the Titanic. And we all know how that turned out.
I'm the king of the world!
Amazingly, Jessop survived the disaster, at which point you probably guessed that she was done with the ocean for good. But Jessop went right back to the sea on White Star's Britannic, which was drafted as a hospital ship during World War I. That ship hit a mine, and Jessop found her way into a lifeboat for the 3rd major ship disaster of her life. But Jessop wasn't the only weird story to come from the Titanic. Predicting the Titanic. In 1898, an author named Morgan Robertson wrote a book called The Wreck of the Titan, which was about an unsinkable ocean liner that hits an iceberg. Sound familiar? It gets better. Robertson's fictional ship was called the Titan. It was described almost exactly like the Titanic, and most of the people aboard died because there weren't enough lifeboats. And the strangest detail of all, the book was published 14 years before the Titanic's maiden voyage. Eerie. Twin accidents. In 2002, 2 70-year-old twin brothers died 2 hours apart. But that's not even the strange part. The first brother was riding his bike on a roadway north of Helsinki when he was hit by a truck and killed. Before the family was even informed of his death, the second brother also died. He was riding his bike on the same road less than a mile apart when he was also hit by a truck and killed. One of the police officers involved in the cases said, "This is simply an historic coincidence. Although the road is a busy one, accidents don't occur every day." It made my hair stand on end when I heard the 2 were brothers, and identical twins at that. It came to mind that perhaps someone from upstairs had a say in this. Chris Benoit's Wiki update. In June 2007, news broke about the tragic murder-suicide involving pro wrestler Chris Benoit and his wife and son. But 14 hours before their bodies were discovered by police, Benoit's Wikipedia page was updated to say that he'd been having difficulties because of personal issues stemming from the death of his wife Nancy. The IP address where the changes originated was traced to Stamford, Connecticut, which is, coincidentally, where the WWE headquarters are located. In the end, the person who edited Benoit's Wikipedia page posted an apology, saying that the entire thing was just a major coincidence and not the result of first-hand knowledge or a psychic gift. Cosmic Twain. Halley's Comet passes Earth once every 75 years or so. In 1835, Mark Twain was born 2 weeks after the comet passed overhead, and he felt a special kinship with it. 75 years later, Halley's Comet was getting ready to come around again when Twain reflected, "I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It is coming again next year, and I expect to go out with it." And that's exactly what happened. Twain died on April 21, 1910, just as the comet passed overhead. Thanks for watching. Click the grunge icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.